Besides the traditional keynote address delivered by International President Stevenson, Construction and Maintenance Department Director Mike Richard had some thoughts about just how special it is to be an organization like the IBEW.
Now, in our construction department alone, we are over 370,000 strong. But another thing that makes us different, more than our sheer size, is that we are a brotherhood, where the well-being of each and every one of our members matters. At least it should matter. We belong to an organization of shared values, where a member could show up at the door of another member, day or night, sight unseen, and actually be welcomed in. Now, how many companies or corporations can say that? Seriously.
Richard went on to say the theme of this year's conference, Constructing Our Future, was given that title for a reason.
Our rank and file members have signed up to do their jobs every day to the best of their ability, and then have a chance to move on to the next job when they are finished with that one. You, me, and everyone in here, however, needs to keep one eye on where technology is headed, where our industry is headed. We not only have to acknowledge the advances that are right in front of our faces, we have to be able to read the tea leaves well enough to see how it'll impact our industry and our union.
Richard mentioned the rapidly advancing amount of work being done low voltage and prefab as two of the big changes the IBEW will need to focus future strategies on. On the lighter side, Walt Ingram of the Union Sportsmen's Alliance gave the Brotherhood an update.
So in the last 365 days has been a whirlwind. So much good for conservation is happening all over America, and IBEW members are right in the center of it. We have 45 projects underway right now since January 1 that will be finished by the 1st of May. In a history of 100 projects in our first 11 years, we'll complete 45 in the first half of this year. Tremendous growth. There is much value in being here. Number one, thank you. Thank you for what you do. That room of 2,000 folks out there, have many of their leadership and members have supported our projects. We just topped $1 million in conservation labor value around America. IBEW is a huge and significant part of that $1 million value. Beyond that are examples of projects and work that union locals have done, and recognizing folks like Bruce Johnson from Local 322 as our Steward of the Year inspire and move people to act.
In years past, the conference has hosted numerous speakers who have inspired members with their stories of hard work and perseverance. But this year, instead of hearing from someone outside the IBEW, members had the extraordinary opportunity to discuss valuable topics with President Lonnie Stevenson and Secretary-Treasurer Kenny Cooper during a conference-first leadership Q&A.
Construction has been primarily white, male-dominated. But that's changed. I do know that's changing, and I think we're doing a better job. I know some locals are really getting engaged and doing some things. You know, we need to go out and educate women and people of color that there are opportunities for them in the IBEW. 20 years, 30 years ago, they may have not have thought about looking at the electrical industry because, to be honest with you, they probably didn't think there was a place for them. So when you're out there and you're looking for this next phase of leadership, membership coming into your local, think about that.
Among the topics that were discussed were how to better engage young members, expectations of leadership, and the idea of mentorship programs.
We talked a lot about the recruiting processes that we're trying to do and bringing in new apprentices, those kind of things. I do think a mentor program is very, very important, not only for the apprentices, but the CEs and CWs. You know, when we look at our system, we take it for granted because we did come through the apprenticeship, understanding the IBEW, the systems within the IBEW, signing a book, going out on a referral, all those kind of things. However, when we take in those non-union or the kids that are coming in, they really don't understand that. So I think a mentor program is really important. If we can do those things by the local unions, assign someone to those new people that come into the IBEW, let them understand their benefits, let them understand our systems, try to help them through the process. I think that's really, really important.
This year's CNM conference had it all. A clear direction for the IBEW, rousing speeches, recognition of those who rose above the call, invaluable workshops, and an opportunity to engage with leadership on important topics. CNM 2019 has come and gone, but its message will continue to grow in each local across the country. The time is now to construct our future. From IBEW Our Power, I'm Erica McClarity.
This edition of News Briefs is brought to you by the NECA IBEW Powering America team.